Hello, how's everybody doing? I am Tony Romanek, and welcome back to Wealth in the Pine Belt, my video series where we're trying to take the mystique out of wealth, shine a spotlight on people, everyday ordinary people who are just doing it, who's building wealth. We believe that there are three pillars to wealth: real estate, business, and investments. That's the foundational classes that I teach once a month at a workshop I host at Community Bank. Every third Tuesday of the month at 6:30, I'm at Community Bank, and I have a community of people who are seeking to do several things. They're looking to buy homes, start businesses, increase their credit scores. We've seen a lot of that. And part of my program is helping people develop business plans and go into business. And I'm here today with a person who I've helped do just that. I'm proud of his business. He's a local community, just a pillar in his community. His business is, and I'm excited to introduce to you a guy named Thomas Dozier. Some of you may have met Thomas, but he'll be with me in a few minutes, and we're gonna look into his business. His business is a gym. He opened a local gym in Tylertown, Mississippi, and we're gonna hear a little bit of Thomas's story.
Everywhere, everywhere, everywhere I go, everywhere that I've been, the only thing I see is beautiful people.
Thomas,
What's going on, man?
welcome,
Yeah,
brother.
Appreciate it.
Man, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule
Yeah.
to come and do this Wealth in the Pine Belt series that I started a couple of months ago.
Okay.
As I said, today I have Thomas Dozier here with me. He's in the fitness industry. This guy has opened a gym in Tylertown, Mississippi.
Yeah.
It's very successful, doing good. And so I'm just excited to hear Thomas's story. So Thomas, tell us a little bit about what you do. How would you describe what you do?
What I do every day basically is provide hope for people. I help people that are overweight. I help people that are that may be dealing with some type of illness related to the lack of physical fitness. And most of all, I just try to affect people in a positive way. Anybody that I come in contact with, I want to make sure that when they leave me, they feel better about themselves. So that's my everyday task, is to make people feel better about themselves and help them from a physical standpoint.
Gotcha. Man, so Thomas, you man, I remember when you were thinking about opening the gym. Now, y'all get this. Most people, I met people who are fitness trainers, but a person who owns a gym that I know personally, and that's of African American descent, I hadn't met one. So that was intriguing to me. But Thomas, I remember when you were thinking about the idea. Tell me, put me in that mindset when you first got the idea of opening the gym, and walk me through that phase, that journey.
Well, when I first got the idea, I had been through some things. I had just lost my job offshore. I was in a transition. I was just basically going around in circles. I had established a friendship with you as far as mentorship. I heard you preach one Sunday. You said on your best day, you need God. And that let me know that it was nothing that I could do, right? It had to be within me. And so from that point, I stayed close to you amongst a lot of other of my mentors. And one day I was at the house and I had got a job. And so I had been putting in applications. I had got a job at a paper mill. And then so I remember I really wasn't too excited. And I went and told my wife, and she was just like, why take that job at the paper mill when you're going to be just as miserable with this job as you were with the job you had offshore? She said, baby, why don't you open up your own business? And so, man, the first thing I did was, man, I went laid on the bed and I cried. I thought about all the things that I didn't have. And so that following Sunday, I went to church and Pastor Kathy was preaching about the story of the little boy with two pieces of fish and 5 loaves of bread. So the little boy, basically what I got from it, he gave God what he had, and God took what he had and made enough. And so the fact that I didn't have, father in the household, we didn't have a lot of money, I had to give God what I had. And so with that, I started moving. I came up with a business plan. I got cars. I started walking up and down the town, meeting and greeting people. Taking mine, I had to move from Hattiesburg to Tylertown because of the job loss. So we had to relocate. And man, I was broke. My credit was jacked up. And so I remember meeting with you one day, and you was like, "Hey man, look, you got to start paying your tithes." He said, first thing you said was, "I better feel like you hit me." He was like, "Feel like your money bag got a hole in it." Do you remember that? And so man, it hit me because like I'm thinking, man, is this dude been at the house, like with a recorder in there or something? How does he know that? And so the first thing I did, I started paying my tithes, regardless of what money I had. Any money that I had, I took God's 10% and I gave it to the house of the Lord. And so through that, you sent me to Tom over at Citizens, and basically I took Tom what I had. And so Tom said,
so the viewers get know about that process. Let's kind of like rewind real quick.
Okay.
So you got a business plan. At this point, do you have a business plan?
I do have a business plan.
So walk me through that process of getting your business plan on paper, and how did you know it was ready? How did you go about even creating a business plan? Because you didn't have a business prior to this, right?
I never had a business prior to this.
So what would you say to somebody who got this idea, they've never been in business? How do you get a business plan?
I think that it comes from your passion to pursue that. I think that what I did was, my philosophy on life is when you're in doubt, you got to reach out. So I had some friends that had businesses, and I reached out to them and I told them what my vision was. And I said, hey, putting together a business plan. Would you mind proofreading this business plan for me? And then once I got it back from them, I looked at it and I added, subtracted, and then I prayed over and I submitted it.
Wow. Okay. So you got the business plan. You got some help with people who was in business.
Exactly.
I believe that, man. I believe that the Bible says that with the counsel of many, your plans will succeed. So you did that, right?
Yes, sir.
Got the business plan, and now it's time to get financed.
Oh yeah.
Because you said the credit was jacked up.
Exactly.
You said the money bag had a hole in it.
Yes.
And so, but now I need finance because I got this idea. I got it on paper, but who gonna give me money? So then you mentioned a guy named Tom. Let's talk about Tom. We both know Tom. So tell us about Tom.
So what Tom did, he asked me a whole lot of questions that I never heard before in my life. And so talking finances was like a foreign language to me. And so he was talking financial statements. He was talking cash flow versus income. He was talking, credit and how to build credit. And so what happened from that point, he made me a list of what I needed to do to execute, to be able to be in position to get the loan. Now, when I first initially met Tom, I wasn't in position to get the loan because of where I currently was at that point. However, after I checked all the blocks that Tom put before me, then I was able to come back in front of Tom and then and get the loan.
I remember that. Now, just for clarity purposes, Tom is a commercial lender at Citizens National.
Yeah.
And Tom has helped several people who I referred to him, and they were successfully able to secure money to start business or buy a rental property, whatever it is that they were trying to do. So Thomas goes to Tom. And there's a time period for where you initially go to Tom and you find out what you need, essentially, but you didn't have what you need. Exactly. So how much time lapsed in between meeting with Tom initially to actually the closing of the loan?
It took me 8 months.
8 months. So what were you doing in those 8 months?
In 8 months, I got leaner with my bills. I paid off my bills. I started with the smallest debt that I had,
Mhm.
and I created what you call a snowball effect. So once I paid off my smallest bill,
Mhm.
then I took that money and the money that I had left over for my budget, my business budget, my home budget, and I used that to continuously pay off my bills.
Gotcha. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, I'm just smiling because I'm thinking about that whole journey. It's kind of reminding me of that whole process. So you paid off your bills. You I mean, just kind of bit the bullet, basically.
Exactly.
How did it feel going through that? I mean, you know, because maybe you had to cut back on lifestyle.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
Well, I mean, it was very humbling. But I kept my eyes on the bigger picture. And I took that small beginning, and I enjoyed the process. And I think what happened was I fell in love with the process, and not was just so hungry for the progress. You know what I
Gotcha.
mean? Like
Yeah.
you fall in love with the
Yeah.
progression of it, then you
Yeah.
lose sight of the process.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's where you kind of take a wrong turn at times. But I fell in love with the process, and man, and on the other side of that was progress. So yeah.
So man, so you come from Hattiesburg, right? And you go to this small town, Tylertown. I don't know what the population is. I don't want to
Yeah.
offend the people in Tylertown,
Yeah.
but you know, you probably got about maybe 1,000 people there, maybe.
Hey, I give us about 2. You
About
know what
2,000
I mean?
people.
Yeah, I
Okay,
give us about
okay.
2. I give us 2.
So okay, now let's talk like the demographics.
Okay.
You got like 2,000 people
Mhm.
population.
Mhm.
How does a business thrive? And you know, like what does the dollars come? In preparing to talk to you, I read that the fitness industry is a $84 billion a year industry,
It is.
and I think they said like maybe 156 million people have memberships to gyms,
Mhm.
but you only have 2,000 in Tylertown.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
how you make that work?
I made it work by, because where I think where I was when I started my business, I was, like I said previously before this, I was going around in circles, and the reason why I was going around in circles because I was pursuing the wrong thing. I was pursuing a paycheck instead of my purpose. See,
Okay.
once I started pursuing my purpose, God revealed to me that I need to try to help the people
Gotcha.
versus chasing a paycheck. And so when I opened my business, that's why it was okay for me to start with nothing, because if I could help one person, I felt good about that.
Gotcha.
And so like I treated my 10 people like 10,000 people.
Mhm.
And so like once those 10 people saw how better they was as a result of the program that I created, they went and told 10 other people. And then they told 10 other people, to the point I had people driving from Hattiesburg to Tylertown. I had people driving from Macomb to Hattiesburg. I had people driving to train at a gym at the time that, man, all I had was 4 walls.
Mhm.
And so like I really, at first I give God the glory. However, it was the purpose-driven passion that was pushed to the people versus me, just again chasing my tail, chasing the paycheck.
Your life, it's your life. Your beauty's deep inside.
I work on 3, 1, 2, 3.